So how's everybody doing? Tank back with another short discussion video. I wanted to make this discussion about a hot button topic that everybody seems to be talking about, and that seems to be Carson Wentz. Now, most Eagles fans will say that, Carson Wentz is going to be amazing, and then everyone who hates the Eagles, or basically everyone else, claims that Carson Wentz is just going to be a giant and enormous bust. All of this based off of the season previous to this. Now, I will say that I gave Carson Wentz a pass on the bad things that he did last season. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles last season, we didn't exactly have the best receiving core. We had a talented receiving core, but we all know that talent doesn't always show itself in the National Football League, especially when your starting wide receiver couldn't catch passes and was better at pushing women down staircases than he was catching passes. And then another wide receiver who happened to be your other starter who never lived up to his first round status. But I'll say this right now, right? I think that Carson Wentz went far past my personal expectations of him last season. The moment the Eagles traded Sam Bradford, I thought the Philadelphia Eagles were going to go 4-12. I really did. I felt bad for him, for Carson Wentz, with the offense we had. I wasn't 100% sure that he was ready, but in the action that he played in some of the action that he played in, he stepped up to the occasion. He beat a lot of bad teams, and we upsetted the Steelers and the Giants and the Falcons, and I believe even the Vikings too. But he has a lot that he needs to work on in order for him to be successful. Like, if he steps on the field in the 2017 season, Week 1 against the Redskins, and he plays the way he did last season, and with the horrible footwork and everything like that, then he won't be a successful quarterback. I'm going to say that right now, and I'm going to say it again. He will not be a successful quarterback if he comes onto the field with the skills that he showed last season. He won't. But at the same time, with the playmakers that the Eagles picked up, with Alshon Jeffrey being mountain times better than what we had, and Torrey Smith at least being a decent deep threat who has played well in the past, he's got no excuse. Okay? There will not be any babying. There will not be any hand-holding. Okay? And I would say that about any of the quarterbacks that came out. I would have given, Bryce Petty a pass. I would have given Paxton Lynch a pass. I would have given Jordan or Jared Goff a pass last season because they were rookie quarterbacks. Not everyone had the environment that Dak Prescott did. And by the way, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about with this video. With the people who continue to compare Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott, they are two situations that you cannot compare in any way, shape, or form. Okay? Carson Wentz came to a team that was not established with a rookie head coach, with a new offensive coordinator and a new scheme. Dak Prescott came to a team with 3 offensive linemen on his offensive line that were the best at their individual positions in Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, Tyron Smith. He had an all-pro wide receiver in Dez Bryant. He had a system that was rookie-friendly with Jason Witten being, a mentor guy in that locker room, as well as having basically Adrian Peterson of this generation in Ezekiel Elliott. And you'll see Ezekiel Elliott, he will end up being one of the best running backs in the NFL. Not to say that Dak Prescott's a bad quarterback. I think he's going to be a fine quarterback. He's one of the smartest people in the NFL, especially getting his bachelor's and master's degree in college and wanting to get his PhD. He's a very learned individual, and I have a lot of respect for his intelligence. But here's the thing. I cannot compare their two situations because their two situations were not the same at all. Now, again, not to say that Dak Prescott is worse than Carson Wentz or Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott. I have no idea. I have no idea if that is even going to be the case. But what I do know is that, A, I will not be holding Carson Wentz's hand while he's crossing the street because he needs to have the skills to be successful this season. Okay? I will not call him names. I will give him his due criticism because he's no longer a rookie and the training wheels are off. I do know that there have been a lot of, rookie quarterbacks who have had worse seasons than Carson Wentz has had. Quarterbacks that have only won one game and then have been successful later on. So I'm not going to, blame him for what happened last season. He definitely wasn't perfect. He definitely has a lot to work on, and he needs to work on it game for game as the season goes on. And this is Hank with another Two Birds and a Third Short discussion, and I will try to be back within the week with more content. I'm going on a backpacking trip, so I'm not exactly sure if that's really going to happen. But hopefully, my co-host and Two Birds and a Third end up having a podcast during the week. But that's all I got. Peace.